I used to say silly things like, where are all the good men at? Until I started taking accountability. Now I know I'm just an ain't shit ass bitch.
Maybe I am the problem.
Maybe I am the problem.
Maybe I am the problem.
Brought to you by the power of AI, because no woman is ever going to say anything remotely like this.
I'm 47, single, divorced more than once. Just trying to see if I can find my person.
Am I the only person, like, completely struggling? Am I the only one? Because I've been single a very long time.
Being alone, having no one there to talk to as you age, no kids.
I want to be a boss. I want to be independent. I don't need a man. I can do this all on my own.
I just found out today that my ex-husband is engaged and I'm unwell.
You know, women have had battery-powered boyfriends for years. Stop crying.
How much are they?
So a robot like Melody is $150,000, and that's fully AI capable and customized. But we can actually make the robot look like anything you want. So you can come to us and say, we would like to give us a picture of someone, and we can make that robot customized to you, and we can customize the AI so that it knows exactly what you want it to know. So it can learn about your company, it can learn about your product,
okay,
or it can be your girlfriend.
Are we going to be like, this is my God, this is my family member?
Well, you could. We always say you can take our robots as a date to a wedding. We have this here on display for people to touch, so you can give that a feel and see how that feels. These faces are all modular, so we could actually take the faces off Melody and Aria, throw this one on top. It's all magnetized or special technology. Press a button, and then you have a different robotic character. This allows us to provide flexibility for our clients. If they change their minds and they want a different character, we can design a different face for them, and then they can add that on very easily.
Are they easy to swap? How long does it take to swap?
It takes about 10 seconds. You just peel it off and then put the other one on. It's our patented system with magnets.
If these robots became more real, which they will, and if they become affordable to men, the game is over for women.
Was wild. Wait till you hear about the cyberbrothels in Berlin, where men are literally lining up to sleep with robots. Yep, robots. This isn't an episode of Black Mirror. It's happening right now, and it's a terrifying glimpse into the future. In Berlin, actual establishments called cyberbrothels are opening their doors, offering men companionship with AI-powered, anatomically correct dolls. They don't speak, they don't argue, they don't have needs. They're just cold, programmable, and built to serve on demand. Let that sink in. For 80 to 120 euros an hour, you can rent a synthetic woman. Customized to your preference: blonde, brunette, petite, curvy, silicone or thermoplastic elastomer. They even let you pick the personality. This isn't just creepy, it's the ultimate fantasy of control, where women are reduced to literal objects and men are encouraged to bypass empathy, effort, and connection altogether. And let's be clear, this isn't just about sex, it's about the death of intimacy. This is about men choosing to opt out of reality, to retreat into a fantasy where women exist to be programmed, not respected. No rejection, no boundaries, no humanity, and the longer they stay in that world, the less equipped they are to exist in ours. This isn't the future. This is the collapse of manhood disguised as convenience. Berlin's cyber brothels are just the beginning. What happens when boys grow up believing that love is transactional and consent is optional, as long as you pay for it? What happens when the most intimate act becomes completely mechanical? And if you think this won't spread beyond Berlin, think again. Tech is fast and morality, that's slow. We need to talk about what happens when men stop needing women and start replacing them with robots.
If you can't even compete with a plastic doll, you are the problem. So wait, women complain about men because they are bothering them. Then men pick robots and women complain that men don't bother them.
There was a video that went viral like 2 days ago about humanoid AI robot girlfriends. I don't know if you guys saw this on Instagram and TikTok, but there are companies making robots that look like humans that are programmed by AI and they can talk to you. And it's very freakishly real. And they're selling them mostly to young men as AI girlfriends. And this has already been a thing in the market without the body.
Like robots, or like just on the
without
screen?
the robots, it's already been a thing. This has been a very lucrative business for the last several years.
That's going to be
And
a
so we've
problem,
covered
especially
this.
for men that don't know how to speak to girls.
It's further isolating them, right? It's
Yeah.
further removing them from our shared humanity, which we need to survive.
Also, it's like the compromising goes away. We're like super lucky, but we're very united on a lot of things. But normally people would have to like, all right, well, she likes to do this, and well, so I'll do it because I love her. That will go out the window because you're like, my AI doesn't like to do that.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
likes to do exactly what I like
Well,
to
you
do.
could just reprogram her, right? Which
You can
guys
reprogram her too, just like a little quick button.
If you've been married, you don't believe in shared humanity anymore. To be honest, I was expecting a fridge with a beer inside. It is missing a heart just like a real woman. Amazing. Where are all the foot freaks? This is your chance to shine, guys. Better than modern women. Imagine the final product on this one. I'm better than the Karen next door.
This is not a human. It's a robot.
She will only tell you she has a headache when the subscription runs out.
As real as it may look, this is not a real person. These are the most advanced and human-like robots in the world. These robots are called humanoid bionic robots. They are so advanced that they can exhibit human-like expressions with ease, depending on the situation. These robots are manufactured by EX Robots, a robotic technology-based firm based in China. These robots have exactly the same face as a real person. Their faces have delicate skin, good elasticity, and true touch. They are a masterpiece of silicone art, which is a combination of aesthetics and technology. Not just that. There are dozens of micromotors installed inside, which allow the robot to make complex expressions, showing motions and speech movement. So, is this the future of robotics?
I see these engineers are men of culture. Will these come in French-made versions? Asking for 300 friends. Looks like the old man's finally been able to do what he wanted to do all his life.
This is the world's first realistic female robot assistant.
I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have passed the Turing test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
In case you weren't aware, this is actually from a video game called Detroit Become Human. But imagine the possibilities.
This is one of many AI robots that will replace women in the very near future for the most important need that men have. Now, does she sound very cold and robotic and have a bitch resting face? Yes, but that means that they've already made them as good as Russian women. But technology is moving very, very fast. Not only these AI robot girlfriends will become more and more realistic and human-like, they already have a lot of features that men really miss in modern women, like the lack of attitude and entitlement. So these are already better than American women. And modern women already have very little to offer to men besides sex, that if sex is now not something that men would need the women for, boy, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, I know what a lot of modern women would say to this. Well, Alex, they can make male robots too. I don't think they can when it comes to the things that women need from men. Though they probably would be able to help these women adopt some cats and refill their antidepressant prescription. But for the main things that usually men are providing for women in relationships, I think it's going to be a while when a robot would be able to do that. But listen, the fact that we're even talking about this is a problem. And I would rather fix what's been going between men and women rather than essentially give up on human relationships altogether and succumb to the technology for the things that really we're all have been put on this earth for, whether you believe in God or Darwin or whatever. But if you do want to bypass this amazing AI advances and actually be in a country where there's still some good traditional women left that you can date and marry, well, do what I do. Ditch those modern American and Western women and come to a country in Southeast Asia or another traditional country in South America or even Africa. And if you want to even start thinking about it, go to themillionmenproject.com, where I have outlined exactly how you, and even an average American guy, can do it in just 2 to 3 months if you do it right. And hopefully one day I will see you here in Southeast Asia or wherever place you choose where we don't need the AI robots yet.
No attitude, entitlement, no delusions. It doesn't sound too bad.
Which the robot recognizes as a specific face for a specific behavior, meaning that if your robot girlfriend gets mad, you can simply take her face off to have a break.
For $175,000, you can get one that talks. For $185,000, you can get one that doesn't. An absolute bargain compared to marriage, divorce, alimony. Not to mention the mute function. Thanks for watching Male Imperium. Please show us your love by subscribing to the channel using the bell icon. We're also up for debate and some healthy banter, so don't forget to comment under the video.